miss your high school sports game of the week with the #1 ranked Class 5A Knox West Rebels visit Maryville to take on the #2 ranked Class 6A Maryville Red Rebels. Live on your high school sports Facebook, the pregame show begins at 6:30 with Jake Nichols and Chris Blevins. Don't miss the Your High School Sports Game of the Week, brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Claymores Express Shine Car Wash.
Get ready because it's now time for the Your High School Sports Game of the Week between the Knox West Rebels and the Maryville Red Rebels.
Hello and welcome into Shield Stadium and Jim Renfro Field. Jake Nichols alongside Ralph Miranda with you for Week 9 of the Your High School Sports Game of the Week. A pivotal matchup tonight between the #2 team in Class 6A in the Maryville Rebels and the #1 team in Class 5A in the West High Rebels. Ralph, a fantastic matchup tonight as we get started in Year 5 of the Derek Hunt era at Maryville and Year 5 of the Lamar Brown era at West. This is a measuring stick game for both teams. Does not have much in terms of playoff implications, but it is a big matchup in terms of just deciding where these guys are as we get toward the postseason.
Oh yeah, there's no question about that. And both these teams have a history. You know, they've played each other in the playoffs in the past when they were both 4A teams. Lots of great battles between Maryville and West. As you said, both teams very highly ranked in the state, but this is really not the most important game for these teams. Next week, Maryville will play Bradley Central for their region championship, and West will play Knox Central for their region championship. But as you said, the winner tonight will have a good feeling of where they stand when they get into the playoffs.
And for Maryville, obviously the key starts with quarterback Carson Jones. Likewise for West, it starts with another Carson in Carson Jesse. We will have more on the Rebels coming up. As mentioned, the 5th season under Derek Hunt, as we take you into an interview with Coach Hunt here at Pregame for the Your High School Sports Game of the Week at Maryville.
Well, that's one of the great things about Maryville is we've got great kids, you know, and we don't have to beg them to show up for workouts at 7 a.m. in the morning. They just come. And, you know, our kids are coachable, you know, and so, you know, they're not perfect. You know, I'm not saying a Maryville kid's better than anybody else, but because they make mistakes too, but a lot of times they make it once. And so, and that's because we've got great kids, we've got great community support at Maryville. We've got great coaches. This is one of the best coaching staffs in America, and I would put them up against anybody. And so we've got a lot of former head coaches on our staff, guys who have been there and done that, you know, and so I'm very fortunate to have that around me. And so I've got a lot of help, and, you know, we're very thankful for that.
Can you talk about, you know, obviously there's a culture at Maryville and there's an expectation, but can you talk about how that lasted through last year and how you've kind of still kept that up going into this season?
Well, I mean, the expectations are high. You want them to be high. We don't ever want to lower our expectations because I promise you we'll meet those lower expectations. So we want our expectations to be high. I say this every year. Our goal is to reach our full potential, whatever that might be. If that means we win a state championship, that's awesome. And there's going to be years where at Maryville your potential probably is a state championship. There's some years that aren't. Last year we ran into a buzzsaw. I think Oakland was the best team in the state last year. I think they proved that in the state championship game. And so, you know, it's hard. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap to the better team and move on. We've got some great kids in this senior class, not just great players, but great kids. And, you know, as coaches at Maryville, we don't have to talk about, hey, you remember last year? They know. You know, it's in their minds. They take care of that by the way they work in the offseason and by the way they prepare in the preseason. So our seniors, you know, it's a senior-led team. It has to be. If the coaches are having to drag it out of them every day, you're never going to be as good as you possibly could be. So we rely on our seniors for a lot of that stuff and a lot of that leadership. And this is a great senior class, one that we're excited about. We're not worried about what may happen in the semifinals. We're not even there yet. I hope we're good enough to get there this year. We'll find out. But, you know, it's coach talk to talk about 1 week at a time, but that's really what it is. It has to be that way because if you start looking ahead, then you're going to slip up.
But you do have some experience back at quarterback. Can you talk about Carson and what you bring with him having him back?
I mean, anytime you can return a quarterback, that's a huge step forward. Carson, I love the kid. He is an introvert by nature. He's not a huge rah-rah guy, but he is so stinking competitive, and I would take that over being a loud, you know, leader type than anything else. I want him to want to win. He definitely wants to. I mean, what a phenomenal year he had last year as a first-year starter. 26 touchdown passes, only 1 interception, 77% completion. That's ridiculous. And we're throwing the ball down the field. It's not like everything's a dink and dunk. So his understanding of what we're trying to do on offense is what allows him to have so much success. So if he can continue that, he's had a great offseason. He's worked really hard. He's been really driven. Started to get some attention from some colleges, so we're excited about the year he's going to have.
Can you talk about his recruitment a little bit and what you've seen from him, how you've watched him grow?
His recruitment? Yeah, I mean, so he's got offered right now from Mercer and Gardner-Webb, and I would expect him to get 2 or 3 more in the next probably couple weeks. He's one of those who would like to get it out of the way before the year, so we'll see. You know, with recruiting, there is no perfect science. You know, there's kids right now who on my team who I think are good enough to play college football that don't have any offers yet, but they will once they get their senior season under their belt. And all it takes is one. It takes one good fit, one coach to say, hey, we think you'll make our team better. And I tell our kids all the time, you know, money is money no matter where it's at, whether it's D1, D2, NAIA, whatever the case may be. So take those opportunities. I played Division III football at Maryville College and had the time of my life doing that. And so I wouldn't change anything. It was the perfect fit for me. Some of my best friends I got to play football with at Maryville College, and I met my wife there. So so it's all about fit for our kids. And, you know, Carson's going through that, and it's tough for these kids to be pulled different directions and told how great they are a lot of times, but it's part of it right now. And so we help our kids do that as much as we possibly can.
Off your own personal help through that, how do you bridge that gap between, you know, knowing how many athletes that you have at Maryville and how many eyes are on that program, but keeping your guys focused on kind of the day-to-day and staying focused on that yourself, but also trying to promote your kids?
Well, our whole concept at Maryville is the team, the team, the team. And I tell our guys this: if all you're worried about your stats and recruitment offers, you're going to end up being disappointed at some point. It's inevitable. But if you do it the right way, you work really hard, you're a really good football player, take care of the classroom, play on a really good team, all that recruitment stuff takes care of itself. It always does. We've signed 8 kids in a year at Maryville, you know, and played team football. So it's very possible. It happens year after year. We've proven that it's possible. I've got 2 coaches on staff that help me with that recruiting stuff. We create these flyers for our kids. We reach out to all these coaches, build relationships with them, help them with what camps they should and probably should not attend, are constantly in communication with groups to help them. So anyway, it's something that I enjoy doing, communicating and connecting with college coaches to try to give our kids a chance at a school that they can help and can play at.
So, Jackson, talking about your offense a little bit, obviously you've got Carson coming back and then you on offense, but, you know, what kind of consistency do you feel like you guys bring to the table on that side of the ball?
This year we have a lot of guys, so we're going to be we'll be very dynamic this year. So I think you're going to see a lot of stuff from us on offensively this year. You know, we have a bunch of running backs, we have a lot of receivers we can roll through there, and you know, obviously Carson, Carson at quarterback makes for a really good offense. So I think it'll be fun this year.
Zach, obviously you guys have a wide variety of talent at Maryville pretty every year, and you know, there's that expectation, but what's it like now? You know, I ask this of Maryville seniors every year, but knowing that you're finally on the cusp of that last season and that the leadership and that Maryville expectation kind of falls on you.
Yeah, you know, definitely. I think whenever I got here, everybody always looks up to the seniors every year, so it's definitely something that we're going to have to take control of this year, is just being able to lead the younger guys and show them, hey, this is the Maryville way, this is how things should be done, and hopefully it carries over for those guys.
If you had to put the Maryville way into words, what would it be?
Just different, I think, because I think we do things so different around here. You know, we work hard, you know, in the classroom, and then that translates onto the field, you know, from every film study, workout, you know, pregame, whatever, everything we do that goes into Friday nights, I think is different. So.
Welcome back to Shield Stadium at Jim Renfro Field. As mentioned, Jake Nichols and Ralph Miranda on the call with you tonight for the Your High School Sports Game of the Week in Week 10 of the 2021 high school football season. Ralph, does it seem like we're already that far along?
No, it doesn't, but when you start the season in the mid-August, it goes by pretty quickly.
That it does. And, you know, I think whenever I put on this sweatshirt earlier today, I realized, hey, I can finally use it.
Well, you know, I was telling Chris, our producer here, when we got here, that this is the best thing our Roddy ever did was give us these sweatshirts, because it was pretty chilly when we got here, and that was a couple hours ago. So yeah, definitely a night for football. Kind of patchy blue sky, a little chill in the air, a little wind, kind of great football weather.
Absolutely. And as mentioned, a couple great teams tonight in the matchup. We have got the number 2 team in Class 6A in the Maryville Rebels, and the number 1 team in Class 5A in the West High Rebels, as they have traveled over from Knoxville in another season under Lamar Brown. And we will get you set for this matchup with yet another primer as we go into a brief recap with the West Rebels from Media Day in Knoxville this past summer.
Can you talk about kind of the standard that they've created at West? Because it seems like with the success you guys have had over the past couple of years, that it's really become kind of a benchmark.
It has. You know, it seemed like it took us a little longer than I wanted to get things turned around, but then it seemed like it got flipped really quickly. And our kids have really bought in. Our kids know the expectations of what we expect at practice. They know at practice we expect them to give great effort. We expect them to compete. We expect them to be focused. They know all those things, and it's carried over now. Instead of coaches talking about those things, you know, you'll have players talking to players about, you know, hey, we got to be focused here, or hey, you got to give better effort than that, and that's been really exciting to hear on the practice field.
Can you talk about some of those guys that have taken on more of those leadership roles without you having to kind of help them with it?
Yeah, you know, we got Shannon Blair, who's an unbelievable player, committed to Michigan State, that is a real leader for us. He works so well with the young guys and trying to bring them along to meet our expectations. Mason Adams in the offensive line has started ever since he was a freshman, so he's going to be a 4-year starter for us, and he's really grown up. He came into West High School as a kid that didn't talk a whole lot, and now he's the leader of our football program. I've been proud of him, but we've also had younger guys step up. You know, Carson Jesse, who's a junior, has done a really good job being a leader for us and growing up. Cooper Shimlock in the secondary has really helped us there, and Noah Geiger, who's a 3-year starter for us, has really stepped up on the defensive side of the ball.
And then lastly, can you go over kind of what we could see on each side of the football for you guys?
Well, on offense, we've got 8 returning starters that started 5 or more games. The positive out of a COVID season is we got a lot of kids experience that we probably wouldn't have played without it. And so we got 4 starting offensive linemen back. That's exciting for us. We got starting tailback Trayvon Barfield back, our leading rusher from last year. Stokes John, our second leading receiver, back from last year. So all of that stuff's exciting on offense. Flip it over to defense. We're anchored by Isaac Bolieber, who had a great season at outside linebacker, Noah Geiger at defensive end, and Jaquarius Wynn and Cooper Shimlock in the secondary. That's all back. So those guys have done a great job. We expect offensively to be very balanced in the run and passing game, and on defense, you know, it's going to be hopefully the same West High defense that flies around and gets after people and really attacks the football.
Harrison, first of all, your coach talked a few minutes ago about kind of the leadership that you bring to this team and what it's been like watching you grow. How do you feel like you've done in that role?
I like to think that I've done pretty good at it. I really love all the guys that we have on, and I think that they love me too, and we have a really great brotherhood going on. Everyone just respects everyone, and we all work together.
Can you talk a little bit about kind of the standard that's been created at West? Because it seems like in the last couple of years, you guys have really been able to get over that hump in terms of, you know, having that consistency every year.
Yeah, there was a time a couple years ago when I think it was really our turning point back there in fall camp 2 years ago, and people really started getting that work ethic into them and really actually started working hard and doing what they should do. Really make a good push to try and win a championship.
West on the quest for a state title in 5A, but so is Maryville in Class 6A tonight. They will clash in a non-region battle here at Maryville High School. As mentioned, Jake Nichols and Ralph Miranda with you for the Your High School Sports Game of the Week on a fantastic night for football at Shield Stadium and Jim Renfro Field. And Ralph, before we go any further, as mentioned, Derek Hunt in his 5th season at Maryville, Lamar Brown in his 5th season at West, meeting tonight in a major clash. But we would be remiss if we went any further without mentioning the absolute discrepancy in championship history between these programs. Maryville, obviously, with 17 state titles, a couple of which I know you're familiar with,
right.
Your son Nathan.
Right.
And West, obviously, having not reached the state title since 2014, trying to get back to that this year, but they will have to overcome a Powell team that gave a very tough test to Knox Catholic last night.
That's true, and really, you know, you mentioned Derek Hunt being his 5th year. It's really like his 15th year. You know, I mean, he was quarterback assistant coach under Coach Quarles. He played under Coach Quarles, so he's been here pretty much his whole life. Lamar Brown, you know, he's a very experienced coach. He was an assistant coach under Don Woods at Morristown West. He was the head coach at Morristown West. There were many times during that tenure that he played Maryville in the playoffs and in the regular season. So he knows what the Maryville program's all about. He knows what it's going to take to beat Maryville. So you've really got two pretty seasoned coaches coaching this game. Now you talk about championships, yeah. I mean, part of the reason West didn't have one is they had to run up against Maryville a lot of times in 4A. But they've got a great program. They've got a good coach. And I think this could be the year where they do get back to the state championship.
But going forward, a fantastic matchup tonight. And as Ralph mentioned, Lamar Brown, a very seasoned coach over there with the Rebels, trying to get a win here in Maryville, but he will have to go up against a very seasoned quarterback too in Carson Jones too. Going back to what you mentioned about Coach Quarles, Ralph, I love how football sometimes works in a circle, because Carson Jones, in deciding to go to Furman, will be going to play for Coach Quarles, who was here at Maryville, and Coach Derek Hunt when Coach Hunt was a quarterback here at Maryville in the mid-2000s.
Yeah, no question about it. And Carson Jones, what makes him so good is, one, his athleticism, obviously. But the thing that makes Maryville so tough to defense against, Jake, is Maryville will show you a lot of formations early in the game, okay? And they'll run plays off that formation. Well, late in the game then, they'll show you that same formation, and then bang, they'll run a totally different play. Well, if you're the defense and you've seen a play run 5 or 6 times out of their formation, right away you think that play's coming, and then they'll fool you with another play. So they're so good at running their offense, of showing you different things to see how the defense is going to react, and then changing their game plan when they need to late in the game. That's what makes Maryville so difficult to beat.
And 4 key players for the Rebels tonight, obviously, like I mentioned, starting off with Jones, the senior quarterback, 6'2", 205 pounds, committed to Furman this summer, just 4 days actually after getting that offer.
Right.
So he knew pretty quickly that he wanted to be part of what the Paladins are making over there.
Right.
According to 5-star preps. He's got 1,394 passing yards so far this year, 14 passing touchdowns so far this season. Going to try to add to that tonight. You also look at a guy in Markel Fortenberry, who is committed to Hugh Freeze and the Liberty Flames. Number 19, he's a wide receiver for the Maryville Rebels, and they will try to get the football a lot to him tonight. He's got 416 receiving yards so far this year and 6 receiving touchdowns, so you can expect them to get the ball to him a lot. And then DJ Burks, also number 1. He looked to be a backup quarterback in warm-ups as well, but he's committed to Appalachian State and will be a big name for them on the perimeter as well. And then Noah Vaughn in the backfield. He rushed for 4 touchdowns in their opener against Powell earlier this year, and can be a major playmaker against this West defense. But flipping over to the Maryville defense, that's the big key for the Rebels tonight, or the Maryville Rebels, because West has a lot of playmakers that they're bringing into this game too.
Right, there's no question about that. And you mentioned Appalachian State, big victory over Coastal Carolina. And let's take a quick break here for the national anthem, and then we'll go further.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want 1 or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
At Sevier County Electric System, we know that when the power goes out, it's important to you to have power restored as quickly as possible. That's why we've introduced the Power Action Line. As soon as you call the Power Action Line from a phone associated with your electric service, we know immediately that your power is out. The Power Action Line lets us answer up to 1,200 calls per hour, so we can make sure and identify all outages, even after major storms. We track those outages through our integrated mapping system, which provides our operations center a better understanding of where the affected areas are located and predicts probable starting points that helps our crews begin looking for the problem. Our whole goal is to get your power back on as soon as possible. We'll even call you back to make sure your service has been restored. At Sevier County Electric System, we want to take care of our customers, and that's what we do every day. Sevier County Electric System. We are the power behind our community. Just call 865-774-6300.
Tune in to the Alewife Pottery Channel 196. Watch local craftsmen and learn of the rich Smoky Mountain heritage and history. Meet Robert Alewife and his family as they take you on their journey of their successful pottery business in the Gatlinburg's arts and crafts community. Established by Robert Alewife more than 30 years ago, this business has grown up with the Alewife family. Alewife Pottery is renowned nationwide, not only for their stunning handmade ceramics, but also their friendly, fun-loving family atmosphere. Tune to Channel 196, the Alewife Pottery Channel, and enjoy these great stories.
Claybo's Campground and Cabins and Claybo's Market and Grill have been family owned and operated since 1978. Claybo's Campground is spacious, with 320 sites including vacation homes and cabins. Great location for family reunions and large groups with entertainment on the weekends. Make reservations at Claybo's Campgrounds and Cabins, located on 405 Wears Valley Road, Pigeon Forge.
My name is Derek Hunt, head football coach at Maryville High School, and you're watching your high school sports.
We're back here at Jim Renfro Field inside Shield Stadium in Maryville, and we told you a little bit about the Maryville Rebels. Now let's get into a little more on the West Rebels. 40-17 in their fifth season under Lamar Brown. 4 playmakers to watch out for them. Braden Latham, number 14. He's got 500 rushing yards this season, 9 rushing touchdowns. As mentioned, the quarterback, Carson Jesse, number 19, 1,071 passing yards and 12 passing touchdowns. Isaac Bolivar, the big linebacker, 14.5 tackles for loss and 7 sacks. And Trevon Barfield, the running back, number 7, 6 feet, 176 pounds, just a junior on this West team. But he can be a playmaker out of the backfield just like Noah Vaughn for Maryville. A guy that West will miss tonight is number 4, John Carlavato. He has been out with an injury, 6'2", 211 pounds, and he is a linebacker with a lot of force that can wreak havoc on the backfield. And as mentioned, with the way that Maryville can stretch the field with that receiving core and with that backfield, it should be interesting tonight. But now we will take a moment to let the Rebels make their iconic entrance here at Shield Stadium, back in black from ACDC, blasting over the speakers here, and the Rebels fittingly dressed in their all black with white numerals. As mentioned, in his 5th season under Derek Hunt, having won 2 state championships under him under this season. Number in Class 6A. They could meet Oakland again in the playoffs this year, but for tonight, they are focused on a premier matchup in the state of Tennessee.
Jake, I spent many nights watching Maryville play West in round 2 of the playoffs. It always used to end up that way back when they were in 4A. So, yeah, these teams, they know a lot about each other. The history is there.
They do, and I think that means that games like this are going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, they are.
And speaking of fun, here come the Maryville Rebels on a beautiful October night for football in East Tennessee. Derek Hunt looking for another marquee non-region win here as the West Rebels.
We sure are, and you know, I'm going to make some comments on what you were talking about on some of these playmakers. You know, Maryville has quite a few playmakers, as you said, but they do such a good job of spreading it around. You know, you really can't key on one guy because they spread it around. West has some playmakers as well. What Maryville does well on defense is they'll take away your primary playmaker, kind of like Bill Belichick does with the Patriots, and they'll force you to go other places. What a lot of other high school teams don't do well is utilize all those weapons. So we'll see tonight if West can do that.
As Maryville made their entrance just now, I think they played a pretty familiar refrain to you.
Yes, they did. You know, the Notre Dame fight song. You know, I heard that many Saturday afternoons. Yes, sir.
And if you want to, before we get into kickoff here, just speak on your familiarity with Maryville. Obviously, having Nathan gone here in 2010 and 11, I think you said, and having won a couple state titles here as well.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I've been, my oldest son played here at Maryville in 2003 and 2004. So I've been associated with the Maryville program for about 20 years, last being 2011. I'm very familiar with their training program, very familiar with their coaching staff. You know, I know what it takes to beat them. I'm not sure I could do it if I was coaching, but you have to play 60 minutes. You can't play 59, you got to play 60 minutes.
And going off that, just in the job that Derek Hunt has done here, as mentioned, he's got a 92% winning percentage, obviously carrying the baton from where Coach Quarles left off.
Right.
But what does that say about the consistency of this Maryville program, that you had a guy that was only 27 take over for Coach Quarles and keep this program lasting into what it is?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because as I said, he's been here so long, they didn't change anything. I mean, they run the same. All you did was take one piece out and put another piece in, you know. And I was telling you a little bit before. You talked about consistency. There's only been one other team besides Alcoa that has beaten Maryville in the regular season in the last 20 years, and that was Morristown West.
That may be a common theme tonight.
Yeah, it could be. You know, I know you're on the Maryville side. You're not allowed to have any bells. So I guess the West fans must have brought them in anyway. But yeah, it's going to be loud tonight. I mean, you got two fan bases that are very proud of their teams. They're used to winning a lot. So you're going to see a very spirited game tonight.
And I think that's one thing that, you know, I've talked about it already this season, but that we missed so much last year, that especially a packed house like this.
Oh yeah, I mean, we missed it in every level of football, right? I mean, college football, you can see this year the difference of having fans in the stands. I mean, that's what football is all about, right? It's about the fans screaming and hollering for their team, no question about it.
Captain's meeting at midfield at the moment. Before we get started here, it's already worth noting, I think, that Maryville, at least according to 5-Star Preps, has not lost a game in October since the mid-1990s. And so I think obviously that tells you the consistency and dominance here in Blount County, but also just the way that you said before that this program has been established, not just under Coach Quarles, but under Coach Hunt, and continuing it forward.
Right.
And Maryville has also not lost to a Knox County team since 2000. So West trying to become the first team to do that tonight in 21 seasons.
Right. And the last Knox County team to beat them was in week 4 of 2000. That was Knoxville Halls.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it's tremendous consistency, but like you said, they've had the same system in place now for about 25 years, because when Hammondtree was the coach before Coach Quarles, he's the one who instituted the system, and then Coach Quarles picked it up and carried it on. Maryville has won the toss. It looks like they'll probably defer.
So West will get the football. As we will Carson Jesse and Trevon Barfield to start things off tonight.
Well, as we said, I think one other game that we did, we can say tonight that the Rebels will win this game.
We can. I think it was Lakeway.
The Kings Academy and Lakeway Cruiser.
Trying to do that tonight as Charles Grissom sends it away, and we are underway with Maryville. Inside the 10-yard line on the return. And not much going after that as the Curious Wren has stopped short of the 15-yard line. So we will get our first glimpse of the night. For the Rebels, 1,071 passing yards so far this season, 12 passing touchdowns.
Good idea.
Latham in the backfield with him to start this thing off. Hand off on the first play from scrimmage, and Latham through the 25-yard line and call it, I believe, a 9, maybe 8-yard gain on the carry, and it will bring up second down and short here for the West Rebels.
Barfield carries the ball, tackled in by Jason Levitter. After 23, second down 3.
Jesse looking to throw. As a receiver out on the perimeter, and sent out plays through. The first first down of the game, courtesy of Vito 2, New York Pizza and Pasta.
It's first and 10 for West.
Stokes John on the reception for West, as they have the football up to 29 after the quick completion. Off the left side now. Courtesy of number 12, Zion Mattress.
You know, you're seeing West now. I mean, they have thrown the ball once, but one thing you want to try to do is establish the run, and that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to even the completed pass was more like a running play, a very quick out, safe pass. So you want to try to get some establishment of the run game, chew up the clock a little bit, get a couple first downs to start off.
Second down and 7 from the 32s here in Maryville on West's first possession of the night. Jesse in the pistol, he'll pitch to the right side. And Maryville defense all over. Third down. And 5 yards to go.
One thing against Maryville, you know, they don't have a tremendous amount of size on their defensive front. So you really have better success running right at them than you do trying to run wide. They're very quick, they're very fast, and as you can see on that play, they were able to close on it quickly. And see,
just back to the line of scrimmage that time.
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is where you don't want to be if you're West. You know, you don't want to be behind the chains. 3rd and 8 is a difficult down. They pretty much know you have to throw, and that's where Maryville can come after you.
3rd down and 7 from the 32 here for Jesse. That's a throw. Being rushed out of the backfield. Fires to his left and has a completion, but it won't be enough for
And as I said, Jake, you see 3rd and 8 is a difficult down, all right? You notice they put pressure on the quarterback because they knew they had to throw, and he had to get rid of it quick to a hot receiver, and the defensive backs closed on him. You want to stay in 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3 if you're West.
It'll be DJ Burks, or excuse me, Markel Fortenberry, along with number 8, Cannon Johnson, back to receive for Maryville. Johnson takes it just before his own 30. First look at Carson Jones, commit, and the senior quarterback for the Maryville Rebels. And although West did not start things out the way you want to on offense, they are playing with a lot of firepower on special teams.
Yes, they are, yes. And they did, you know, they got a first down. They moved the ball a little bit, and they didn't go 3 and out. That was the key.
First down and 10 for Jesse from the 36. From the 31. Things tough on this Maryville offense. Jones firing out to his right side. And he has a quick completion out to DJ Burks, out to the 38-yard line. Call it a 7-yard reception on first down and 10. Brings up 2nd and 3 for the Maryville Rebels. Jesse, as mentioned, with Noah Vaughn as his mate in the backfield. Vaughn with 14 rushing touchdowns so far this year, and Jesse already having to scoot up to the line to adjust to these first downs. West all over it again defensively to bring up 3rd down and short.
And what you got to be careful, but if you're West, as I said in our opening segments, they'll show you that formation again, and then they'll throw it across the other side of the field. So you can't over pursue if you're West. You have to stay with your assignment. Yeah, no question about it. I mean, it was 3 and out for West High School, and you know, after your first 2 series is when you're going to start seeing the game unravel from the standpoint of adjustments, right? I mean, both teams now have seen what the other one has, and we'll see which team makes the better adjustments to be able to overcome that.
First down and 10 for the West Rebels from their own 14-yard line. Jesse again with one man in the backfield. A throw on first down. Fire to his right side, hammered. Maryville with a nice stop on the Rebels sideline, on the Rebels home sideline, I should say.
But that's a good play. I mean, they picked up 5 yards. I mean, that's what you want to do. Maryville, Maryville's going to play pretty much a cover 2 the whole night, all right? It's kind of like running against or throwing against quicksand. They're not going to let you beat them deep, so you got to take what they give you, move down the field.
Second down and 5 here for Jesse. He'll toss left, fumble on the play, and West falls on it.
Fumble on the play, it's recovered by quarterback Carson Jesse.
That one could have been a lot worse as Jesse fell on the football.
Right.
To his own 10-yard line.
Right. And we didn't really touch on any keys of the game particularly, but that's one of the things West cannot do. You can't turn the football over in a game like this. Both teams can't, but especially West trying to come in here and knock them off.
And you already hear the Maryville student section letting West have it.
Yeah, and now you've got a 3rd and 12, which again is a difficult down.
3rd and long here for Jesse.
You almost might want a draw play maybe even.
3rd down and 11 for Jesse, rolling to his right side. He's going to try to run.
And he fumbled the ball.
Behind, fumble on the play. And there's a flag on the field. Maryville says they have it, or at least Markel.
4th down, yeah.
And it brings that 4th down.
And as I said, Jake, on that play, a rollout by the quarterback, I'm sure his option was, if you don't see anybody open, run it. Maryville's not going to give you a deep play with that cover 2. He was able to tuck it and run, but you got to secure the football.
4th down and 12 here for the West Rebels as they will punt from their own end zone, just inside that R in Maryville. And Markel Fortenberry will be the deep man. And Maryville will start out with fantastic field position on this next drive.
Yeah, and so far, the field position has been all Maryville. I mean, they've kept West pretty much inside the 30-yard line, and if you're West now, if you can hold Maryville here and they punt you, you've got to flip that field position somehow. You got to get 2 or 3 first downs, whereas even if you have to punt, you put Maryville back down around the 20.
5 minutes left in the first quarter, still a 0-0 game here at Maryville. As Carson Jones comes out on first down and 10 from the 44. Jones coming off up the middle, and Noah Vaughn slicing ahead with plenty of room out across the 50 and down to the 41-yard line. Call it a 15-yard, a 15-yard carry for the tailback. And that is a quick first down for the Maryville Rebels, brought to you by Stevito Team New York Houston and Pasta. And that goes on can hurt you.
Yeah, no question.
First down and 10 for Maryville in the West territory. Gets the ball again, why not? He bounces it outside and struck quickly. The West Rebels there on the stop. Led that time by Braden Latham. And a nice to get several white jerseys against Vaughn in the backfield.
Yeah. Maryville tried to pull one of their guards in that play, and he didn't get out there quite quick enough to take on the defensive tackle who blew the play up.
Second down and 13 from the 44. Jones looking to throw over the middle. Has a receiver down inside the 25-yard line, and Maryville continues to move the football.
One of the things Maryville does so well is they can read the field. The quarterbacks read the field, and all they did was run that man right up the seam and caught a little bit of a hold in the defensive secondary.
First down and 10 for Maryville. And another one brought to you by Stevito Team New York Houston and Pasta. They'll run the option as Jones puts his way out into the 15-yard line, or close to it. And I think that is a sign of maturity from the senior quarterback and toughness too, willing to put his body on the line.
Oh Oh, yeah, no question about it. But you got to do that. I mean, they give you different looks. Like I said, they'll show you different formations, run plays off those, and then show you the same formation and run something totally different.
Brings up third down and very short here for Maryville, 3rd and 1. Again, still 0-0 here at Jim Renfro Field. And the West defense really stopped here in the first quarter. Jones having to adjust. Up the middle, and the West Rebels just having to hang on for the ride down inside the 5-yard line.
And you mentioned Carson Jones, the quarterback for Maryville. I mean, did you notice how he uses that 40-second clock? I mean, very patient, calls out the signals, gets the call from the silence, and is able to calmly put his team. That's what you want from a quarterback running this type of offense.
First down and goal. Maryville offense starting off strong here after having begun this drive from their own 44.
Good play. Yeah, and that was a great play by Jacarius Wren, the corner. As I said, watching a lot of film, he saw exactly what he was supposed to do on that play, and he made the play. Great play by the corner.
Second down and goal from the 6 here for Maryville. Or second down and 7.
I expect Maryville to call a timeout here. They don't look like they're really ready.
Inside the 30-second mark of the first quarter. And that's exactly the case. And they want to talk about it.
Yeah,
take a quick break
Yeah.
with them. Still 0-0 here at Maryville. We'll be right back on the Your High School Sports Game.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
At about the 5-yard line. Again, a nice stand there by the West defense. Forced third down and goal. And so far, Lamar Brown's defense has been up to snuff against the Maryville offense. That will be the end of the first quarter. And what in the first 12 minutes we have 0-0 between the West and Maryville. Coming up, we'll take another quick break. And we can join us here on the
Claybo's Campground and Cabins and Claybo's Market and Grill have been family-owned and operated since 1978. Claybo's Campground is spacious, with 320 sites including vacation homes and cabins. Great location for family reunions and large groups with entertainment on the weekends. Make reservations at Claybo's Campgrounds and Cabins, located on 405 Wears Valley Road, Pigeon Forge.
My name is Derek Hunt, head football coach at Maryville High School, and you're watching Your High School Sports.
We welcome you back to Shield Stadium and Jim Renfro Field. And so far in the 0-0 game, West defense has been up to par.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, Maryville's been able to move the ball on this drive, but West has become very stingy as they've gotten closer to the goal line. I thought it was a bad call by Maryville to throw that pass out in the flat on first down. I don't like to throw the ball laterally when you're that close to the goal line, but they came back with a couple good runs. But West has got them down the 5-yard line. It's going to take two pretty good plays here for Maryville to be able to score. I doubt they're going to try to kick a field goal. I may be wrong about that, because in a game like this, you want to put points on the board. But we'll see what Maryville comes up with here on third down.
As mentioned, Maryville, the number 2 team in Class 6A in the state of Tennessee, and the West Rebels, the number 1 team in Class 5A. The West Rebels have not been to a state championship game since 2014, or have not won one rather, but they will try to do so this season. But they have got, as mentioned before, a tough Powell team standing in their way. Powell and Catholic in a fantastic matchup. If you missed it last night, Catholic ends up winning in a thriller, 30-29, and credit Catholic's do-it-all wide receiver, safety, kind of utility man, Tommy Winton, for a between-the-legs catch to end it. That was absolutely fantastic. But we have got some more highlights coming up here as well. I'm sure. Third down and 7. Can the West Rebel defense make a stand? We will see if Carson Jones and Maryville can answer. To start the second quarter, third down and short.
I'm looking for some kind of cross-buck action.
It'll be up the middle. Jones firing into the end zone.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Maryville. Markel Fortenberry on the reception in the corner, and the Maryville Rebels are on the board.
And what you do there, Jake, is anytime you have that cross-buck type action in the backfield, you hold the linebackers. If you can hold the linebackers, you can get a receiver behind him for a pass like that. Linebackers have got to honor the run, so that play action freezes them enough time to get that guy free behind the secondary.
6-0 in favor of Maryville to start this second quarter off the play action from Carson Jones. And it is 7-0 after the VAT. So your new score, 7-0 in favor of Maryville after a 56-yard drive that spanned the latter half of the first quarter and the start of this second frame. And now it's up to Carson Jesse and the West Rebels to see if they can muster a response.
Yeah, and also, as I said earlier, it's very important for West in a game like this now, especially since they're behind. You want to limit the number of times Maryville has the football, okay? So you want your offense to be able to drive the ball down the field, eat up some clock, keep Maryville's offense on the sideline. You can't turn it over. You can't go 3 and out, because if Maryville gets up on you 14-0, it becomes very difficult.
West dropping back.
No, it was good
to receive this kick. Six Horde back to receive along with Jaquarius Wren. And as mentioned, 11:52 left to play in this second quarter as we get started here at Maryville. Kick is away, and Horde will take it at his own 2-yard line. Ford not finding much of a seam there as he is brought down close to the 24.
This is a key drive for West here, Jake. I mean, they don't necessarily have to score, but they need to get a couple first downs. You know, try to get the ball at least to midfield, so at the very least, if you have to punt, you flip the field position.
Jesse coming out on first down and 10. And I had been mistaken earlier to believe it's Trevon Barfield in the backfield, but this time they give it to the fullback. And not much to gain as there is a swarm of black jerseys there on the tackle. And most notably, you can give credit that time to number 3, Zach Graydon, who was there immediately. He's got 17 tackles on the year and make that 18.
And you got to give credit to Latham, the running back. He picked up 3 yards almost purely on second effort.
Second down and 6 here for the Rebels. Jesse trying to throw, flushed out of the pocket and brought down for a sack at the 21. Maryville's defense all over that one, courtesy of number 27, Keyshawn Harper.
And the key to that play, Jake, was the coverage over here on the short side of the field. He wanted to throw a quick out to looks like number 8 there. Number 19, the corner for Maryville, Fortenberry, did a good job of jumping that route and shutting it down, so he had to pull the ball down.
7-0 in favor of Maryville here at Maryville. Jesse going on to the screen out to his right and shoved out of bounds close to the 35 is number 6, 6'4".
Let's see if West has the guts to go for it here. They're going to go for it.
Fourth down and short here for the Rebels. Lamar Brown electing to go for it. Fourth down and 2.
They're going to try to draw Maryville off sides. I doubt they're going to go for it here. I'd say they're going to try to draw him. I may be wrong, but we'll see. No. Yeah, they're just trying to draw him off sides.
Jesse still looking for a call here, and that's the time.
Yeah, I thought it was a little weird that you're not going to try to go for it with the ball on your own 32-yard line.
So Maryville will get the ball back, assumingly, after West punts it away. 9:47 left to play in the second quarter, and you can see that Maryville defense already starting to wear down the Rebels offense.
Yeah, no question about it, because remember I mentioned a little while ago about adjustments? That's what Maryville does so well. West moved the ball a little bit. Maryville figured it out, made some adjustments, and now West has got to do the same thing. Now, by calling time out there and showing that you were trying to draw them off sides, this is a great time for a fake punt if you want to try it, because Maryville's not thinking you're going to punt here, okay? Also, keep in mind, if West punts the ball to Maryville here with a 7-0 lead, look for Maryville to try to go deep and get a home run play.
Fourth down and 2 from the 32. Fortenberry, the deep man for the Maryville Rebels.
And you can see Maryville's in their punt safe formation, so they're expecting some kind of fake.
And West does punt away.
Wow.
Really poor punt that goes out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. And just like that, Maryville is set up with fantastic field position once again after a 54-yard touchdown drive the last time out.
Now, if I was a betting man, I would give you $20 here if Maryville doesn't try to go deep and get 6 on the first play. I may lose it, but that's my guess. They'll show you some kind of play action, though.
Carson Jones coming back out. It's a football in West territory at the West Rebel 40-yard line. We've got Markel Fortenberry to the near side, DJ Burks to the far right. And instead it's Noah Vaughn up the middle with plenty of room to work down to the 20. And Vaughn, just like that, gashes the West defense for 20 yards and a first down.
Well, I lost my $20, but that kid's got some moves, doesn't he? I mean, he's able to turn on a dime.
He does. As mentioned, 14 touchdowns for Vaughn so far this year. Looks like he may be able to add it to 15 in the next couple plays.
And that's almost 2 touchdowns a game. That's pretty strong.
Ball down to the 21. That first down brought to you by Squisito 2 New York Pizza and Pasta. Maryville coming out in the shotgun once more. And it'll be Noah Vaughn again off the right side. Vaughn with room to work near his own sideline and shoved out of bounds close to the 15-yard line. Ralph, you can see West already that with the way Vaughn has gashed them so far, they're forced to stack the box a little more.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, and the kid's just a junior, so he'll be back next year. But you're right. That's what running the football does for you. It forces you to come out of that 7-man box and make an 8-man box, and then that gives you the ability to throw the football off of play action.
Second down here for Maryville with 5 yards to go. Ball on the 16 here for Jones. Does he give to Vaughn again? No. Jones firing deep to his right into the corner. And caught. Touchdown, Maryville. A highlight reel grab into the end zone. Markel Fortenberry goes up and gets it.
And that's what you get when you have a 6'5" receiver. You throw the little fade route where the only person that can catch it is him.
13-0, just like that, courtesy of the Liberty Flames commit. And man, he was hot on that one.
Yeah, he was. He was definitely hot. That's good, Jake. I like it.
You didn't even realize the pun.
No, I didn't. That was.
I will say I'm not usually that quick with puns, but I will give it to myself on that one.
No, I'll give you that one. That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah.
Maryville goes up 14-0, just like that here against the West Rebels. And Ralph, now if you're Lamar Brown with that experience and with this roster, what are you telling your team in this vaunted atmosphere?
Well, I mean, look, you still got 2.5 quarters left in this game, okay? You don't change anything right now. If anything, all you do is, you make sure you tell your team, look, all we've got to do here is we've got to get some first downs. We can't get 3rd and 12. We can't get 3rd and 8. Flip the field position. Let's let our defense try to get a turnover. You're not out of this thing yet, but you've got to consistently move the football. If you keep going 3 and out and giving Maryville a short field, it's going to be a long night.
So 14-0 off a 16-yard, touchdown pass from Carson Jones to Markel Fortenberry in the corner. And I think that is a noticeable pattern that we've seen, that he went to Burks in the corner on the first touchdown, went to Fortenberry in the other one, liking to get to those big playmakers and let them go up and get it and put the ball where only they can make that catch. West taking the football inside its own 5-yard line. And Lynn trying to get a return, spins out of a couple tackles. And he is brought out of bounds. But the West fans do not like what they are seeing. Looks like there may have been a little forward progress, stopped him in a little extra.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to get all the yards he could, and the Maryville guys were trying to bring him down. So it was just a battle of wills there.
First down and 10 for West from the 25-yard line. 8:37 left to play in your second quarter, and Maryville already holding a 14-0 lead, courtesy of 2 touchdown passes from Carson Jones. Up the middle with a dash. And out close to the 37-yard line for Von Barfield on the carry. Mattress that time. And it will be first down and 10, brought to you by Squisito 2 New York Pizza and Pasta. And Ralph, you could see that time the way that West ran the football that quickly, it caught Maryville a little by
Yeah, I think it did. And they probably caught Maryville in some sort of a stunt, or a linebacker didn't fill a hole, because, that was it was a strong run by West, no question.
Jesse on first down. And he is left up in the pocket and brought down. There's a flag on the play. And Jesse being helped up. A show of good sportsmanship there by West. But as it stands, a second and very long as it has been a day for the Maryville defensive line so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not giving him much time to throw the football. And Maryville's secondary, you know, I mentioned earlier, Maryville's going to stay in that cover 2 defense. They're not going to give you a quick pass or a deep pass, so you've got to be able to take what they give you, and that's the short routes underneath.
2nd down and 15 from the 32. Jesse looking to throw and chucks that one into the turf. Still not much time here for number 19.
No. Well, what he tried to do there is he tried to run a screen play, and that was a good call on 2nd and 15, but Maryville did a good job of recognizing it and stopping it, and he had to throw the ball on the ground. I did like the play call, though. A screen is a good call in 2nd and 15.
3rd down and 15 here for West. Trying to make something happen as Jesse drops back. He's going to go over the middle, and that one dropped by 6 Ord. Looked like he had a lot of green grass in front of him, but it brings up 4th and long.
Yeah, and you know, you asked me earlier on, we were talking about what it takes to beat Maryville. Those are the things you can't do. I mean, when you've got a 1st down staring you in the face and you drop the football, you just can't do it.
4th down and 15 here for West. The Rebels going to punt it away once more. Fortenberry will take the fair catch at his own 29-yard line. And Carson Jones not quite out to the field position he had before, but not bad to start this one off either.
No, it's not, but again, that was a good job by West. They got a 1st down, they got a good punt, they put Maryville back on the 30-yard line, and that's what you need to do. And now we'll see if Maryville can drive the football down the field. They've got 6 minutes and 44 seconds, and this is really a key drive of the game right here.
And Maryville has had it kind of easy so far in terms of field position. They had a 54-yard touchdown drive and then a 40-yard touchdown drive after that poor punt from West. 1st down and 10 from the 29. Jones back to throw. A nice screen to Vaughn with plenty of running room. Vaughn down the sideline and gets across midfield, hammered down. A big hit that time by the Rebels, courtesy of number 5, Brock Hatcher. Man, he was fired up going into the West sideline after that one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a big proponent of big hits, but it was still a 20-yard gain.
Yep.
You know, I mean, so big hits are great, but what you got to figure out is how can you make that hit on a 2-yard gain?
1st down and 10, brought to you by Squisito 2 New York Pizza and Pasta. Maryville at midfield, courtesy of the scamper from Noah Vaughn. Yet another gas we've seen from him tonight. And they will hand off up the middle, and Vaughn brought down from behind. Bolivar on the tackle that time, and that's the kind of hit that you want to make in the backfield. That's the kind of big hit you celebrate.
And let me tell you what number 40 did there.
Isaac Bolivar,
a linebacker. Maryville pulled the right guard. As a linebacker, at least the way I was taught, the way I like to play it is, when you see that guard pull, fill that hole, all right? And what he did was he filled it, and he dragged Vaughn down before he could get going. So a nice play by number 40.
2nd down and 10 from midfield. 5:25 left to play in the half, and Maryville still ahead, 14-0. Jones back to throw. Has Fortenberry over the middle, and Fortenberry, lucky he wasn't shaken up on the play, but it almost looked like that one could have gone to an offensive lineman instead. And instead it brings up 3rd down and 10 for Maryville. We will see here if the West defense can get a stand. Again, the ball at midfield, 14-0 in favor of the home field Rebels so far tonight. Carson Jones has gone through the air several times, but he has shown his weaponry out of the backfield, and Noah Vaughn as well.
And Maryville's not afraid to run it in this situation if they think they can get a play out of it.
Burks in motion. Jones rolling right, has a screen to the left side and plenty of running room down the sideline and down close to the 30-yard line. A brilliant play call that time by Derek Hunt. And credit number 25, Jackson Phillips, on the reception, and a big first down for Maryville.
Yeah, and again, that was the same play they ran on the first down from the 30, is that backdoor screen. They flood everybody to the right side of the field. They sneak it back out of the backfield. 2 linemen come out with him, and they run that screen, which is a very effective play.
First down and 10 from the 32, brought to you by Squisito 2 New York Pizza and Pasta. And even on 3rd and long, Maryville is moving the football at will right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to play for every situation. It's just a matter of whether you can stop it.
Phillips now in the backfield. Jones gonna throw. Going deep down the middle. And nothing on the play, but they're gonna call a flag. We will see what they call it. Looked like it had been defensive pass interference. And Maryville will move up 15 yards. Jones trying to go for the deep ball to Markel Fortenberry. Fortenberry and Burks each with 1 touchdown so far tonight. Fortenberry, the Liberty Flames commitment, heading up there to Lynchburg to play for Hugh Freeze. And DJ Burks playing for Appalachian State.
Hugh Freeze, the former Ole Miss coach.
Yep. And he has built quite a program up there at Liberty, too.
Yes, he has.
And that was one thing that appealed, I think, to Fortenberry, is he talked about how it appealed to his Christian faith, but also how Freeze has built another powerhouse up there in Virginia. First down and 10 from the 17. Vaughn up the middle. No problem, 17 yards, see ya later. And shoved out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Thought he had it, but I believe it will be a 16-yard gain for Vaughn. Looked like he was brought down outside the 1.
Yes, he was, yeah. He was swung out of bounds, like about the half-yard, well, yeah, about the 1, maybe the 1.5.
So first down and goal brought to you by Squisito 2 New York Pizza and Pasta. Don't think it's much of a mystery what they're going to go with here. DJ Burks coming in at quarterback. The Wildcat is stopped short of the goal line. I think they will check to see.
What Maryville used to do, you know, many years ago, I haven't seen it lately, is they had a formation called a rhino package. And what they would do is they'd bring in a couple linebackers and maybe a tight end, and they'd load to one side, and they would just power it in the end zone. I haven't seen that much as of late.
Burks back in at the Wildcat once more. He'll try the left side, and got it, no problem. Touchdown, Maryville. DJ Burks with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the home field Rebels have a 3-score lead.
Yeah, that's a very effective formation. I mean, I still like the old Rhino a little bit better, but when you're that close to the goal line, all he's doing, remember, he's got 2 running backs stacked behind the tackles or the guards. And he's just looking when he takes a snap to see where the opening is. And when you've only got a half-yard to go, it's pretty easy to do.
20-0 in favor of Maryville here with 3:37 left to play in the 2nd quarter. The kick is up, and it's good. 21-0. All in favor of the black-clad Rebels so far tonight. 3:37 left to play in the half, and Ralph, I believe you were about to say something else about another adjustment West needs to make here.
You read my mind there. You should go into mind reading or something. But yeah, again, it sounds like a broken record, right? But what has Maryville done on defense? They've made adjustments. They've figured out what West is trying to do. Now, that doesn't mean West has not been successful on some plays, but they've been able to figure out the philosophy of what they're trying to do. West has yet to been able to do that with Maryville. And the problem is that Maryville, again, they'll show you formations, And it's very hard as a defense when you see a flood of receivers going one way to think the quarterback's going to stop and throw it the other way. So somehow they've got to figure out some alignment that's going to give them the ability to at least slow Maryville down so that they can get their playmakers involved. I mean, West is not out of this game yet, okay? The problem for them is that Maryville gets the second half kickoff, okay? So they have got to move the ball down here, and I think they've got to get some kind of points on this drive.
(21-0) in favor of Maryville. West will try again here on another drive. Wren looked like he wanted to run it out of the end zone, but they will call it dead.
Well, they won't let him, yeah. In high school football, if the ball goes into the end zone, it's a dead ball.
So it will be first down West from the 20-yard line.
You know, the game has changed a lot, Jake. When I was in high school, the ball was live in the end zone. I mean, you had to cover it or down it or something. Now, once the ball goes in the end zone, it's a dead ball.
First down and 10 for Carson Jesse. Gonna hand off up the middle. And nothing going. A nice tackle that time made by the Maryville defensive line. Zach Braden again on the tackle there for Maryville. Second down and 9 after the 1-yard run from Mattress. Jesse trying to throw and fires into the Maryville sideline.
And he's feeling the pressure now. I mean, Maryville has gotten to him at least 3 times, and he's hurrying his throws a little bit, throwing a little bit off his back foot, and that's causing the ball to sail on him a little bit. This is a key first down for West, because if they have to punt it back to Maryville, you know Maryville's going to try to put another score on the board.
Third down with 9 yards to go for Jesse.
I would run a screen here or some kind of...
Jesse back to throw over the middle, and again trying for 6 Horde. That one hits his knees and bounces to the turf to bring up fourth down.
Right, and you know, you're playing into Maryville's hands right now. I mean, they've got to figure out some way to move the football, some kind of different philosophy. A screen would have been a good call there, maybe some kind of a bubble screen or even just a regular screen. Now the situation becomes you've got to get a good punt. You got to hope you can get Maryville back at least. You know, they've got Fortenberry set up at the 40. Hopefully you can get a punt that'll get him back to around the 30 or the 25.
2:54 left to play in the first half in Maryville, and it has been all Derek Hunt's Rebels so far. Fortenberry takes it at his own 46.
Oh, what a block.
Has a seam down the left sideline, and Fortenberry dragged down at the 41. Quite a bit of disagreement coming from the West sideline, and an injured West Rebel down on the field. You hate to see this situation.
That was a pretty vicious block that he put on that guy. I'd love to see the replay. I know we don't have that ability, but I would love to see the replay. It looked like a clean block to me, but again, I saw it in live time, and it was hard to tell.
West coming over to the sideline, and we will take a quick break for the injury. We'll be back on the Your High School Sports Game of the Week.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Play ball
First down and 10 for Carson Jones. He'll give to Noah Vaughn off left end, and Vaughn races out close to the 41-yard line. He hasn't had a score tonight, but number 2 has certainly put the team on his back out of that Maryville backfield.
I'll tell you, he's some kind of running back. I've only seen him play once, and that was against Science Hill. He caught my attention that night. He's definitely caught it again tonight.
Second down and 4 yards to go here for Vaughn. I'll give it to him again up the middle. No, Jones off the left end, the senior quarterback, moves across the 50. And a nice read that time by Jones on the RPO.
Yes, it was a good read. He pulled it out, ran it himself, got a first down, got out of bounds, stopped the clock.
First down and 10 for Maryville at midfield once more. Now leading by 21 points over the West Rebels. As mentioned, Maryville, the number 2 team in Class 6A, and West, the number 1 team in Class 5A. First down and 10 for the Rebels, brought to you by Squisito's 2 New York Pizza and Pasta. Jones with a loaded backfield this time as Phillips goes in motion. He'll fire off to the right side and got a completion to DJ Burks close to the 38.
Yeah.
And you said it before, Ralph, but Maryville, with such an arsenal of weapons, you don't have to pick just one guy.
No, you really don't. And that's what makes it so hard to defend them, is that you can't say we're going to stop so-and-so or so-and-so. You got to stop the system.
First down and 10 at the 38, brought to you by Squisito's 2 New York Pizza and Pasta. Vaughn up the middle again and pushes ahead with a second effort close to the 35-yard line.
Vaughn carries the ball.
And it looks like we will have another timeout on the field as Derek Hunt wants to talk about what to do here with 1:31 left to play. And Ralph, with a 3-touchdown lead, what are you telling your offense with a minute and a half before the locker room?
Score. No, I mean, really, what you're trying to do here is you've got the ball on the 35-yard line. You got a minute 31 left. You still have one timeout. You know you're going to get the ball to start the second half. So what you're trying to do here is, if you can score, but get it into field goal range. If you can tack on 3 points here and then get the ball in the second half, you're pretty much in control of this football game. What you don't want, what you're telling them right now is, hold on to the football, control the football, make sure you make your blocks, get out of bounds if you can. Those are the things you're telling them.
As mentioned, Maryville up 21-0 with 1:31 left to play before the break here at Shield Stadium in Jim Renfro Field. And in terms of facilities, with the break all around, I don't think there's a better one in Tennessee high school football, but I don't think there's a louder one tonight either.
not
with
tonight.
This environment.
That's right.
Second down and 6 here for Jones. He's going to go deep over the middle, intended for Burks, incomplete. A nice break up that time, and Jaquarius Wren is celebrating the forcing of a third down here. Nice coverage that time by Wren on Burks.
Yeah, that was good coverage, good solid coverage. He tried to thread the ball into a tight needle and it just wasn't there.
Starting to wonder if something happened to Noah Vaughn here as Gage Ledoux is in the backfield for Maryville.
No, that's just their normal pattern. They'll substitute guys in and out.
Third down and 6 to go here for the Maryville Rebels. Jones firing again, has Fortenberry on the perimeter down the sideline. Fortenberry ducks out of bounds close to the 10. And what a run that time by the Liberty commitment.
Yeah, the kid's got some speed, doesn't he? I mean, for 6'5", he can really motor it pretty well. And again, another good call by Maryville. Get the ball quickly out on the perimeter. That way, if you get the first down, you can get out of bounds. If you don't get it, there's not as much of a chance of a fumble or as an incompletion because there's not a lot of traffic over there.
1:17, plenty of time to work with here before the locker rooms, and Maryville knocking on the door once again at the 9-yard line. First and goal.
And Noah Vaughn's back in the game, so look for him to get the ball.
First down and goal here for the Rebels. And Jones looking to fire. Has Vaughn on the screen, or excuse me, trying to find Fortenberry.
Fortenberry on a little out pattern.
And that one is complete. Brings up second down and 3 after a 6-yard gain. Maryville trying to punch it in one more time before halftime.
You know, I was just looking, Markel Fortenberry is 6'5", but he's 200 pounds. Can you imagine in college when they put a little weight on him and he's 6'6", about 235?
Terrifying.
Yeah, exactly.
Second down, 3 yards to go on second and goal here for Maryville. 1:12 left in the half and plenty of time to work with. Jones in the shotgun and Vaughn off the left side. No, Jones around right end, and the senior quarterback strolls in for the 4th touchdown of the night.
Yeah, and that was a good play. If you notice, they brought Gage Ledoux over to the right side, kind of in a wing formation, and all they did was Vaughn led, Gage Ledoux led, and it was basically just a power run off the right tackle by the quarterback.
Carson Jones has thrown a couple touchdown passes tonight, and he has now run one in himself for a 4-score lead. 28-0 in favor of Maryville, and as one would expect, this west section is now silent.
Yeah, you don't,
as the Rebels need a response here.
You don't hear a lot of bells anymore. It's been a little quieted, but it's understandable. I mean, you know, it's understandable. I mean, you come here as a fan, you want to see your team do well, and when they fall behind, it's a little disconcerting. But again, I'm going to stress, West is not out of this football game yet. Okay, I mean, they have got to. What they've got to do now is they've got to stop Maryville to start the second half, and they've got to try to move the football. If you can get a score on the board, gives your defense a little momentum, gives you the ability to try some different things.
A minute left before the half here in Maryville, and the Rebels up 28-0 over West. Trentham set to send it away. And it will be into the end zone once more. And I think Wren is again a little frustrated that he can't take that one out.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he is. I mean, it's your adrenaline kicks in and you want to start to run that ball out of the end zone, but they just won't let you do that in high school.
So first down and 10 from the 20 once more.
Now, what we're going to well, I'm sorry, go ahead. We want to see we want to see if Coach Brown decides to try to push the ball down the field here or be content to go in the locker room. I'm expecting a run to see if he can get some yardage first, and that's what he's going to do.
Off the left end.
Yeah, and that's a good run.
And Latham gets close to the 23-yard line.
And that was an excellent run.
Latham carries the ball.
Usually when you're deep in your own territory like that and you've got a minute to 2 minutes, you run the ball first. If you can get good yardage, then it tells you, hey, we're going to push it down the field.
Second down here for West, trailing 28-0 at Maryville. The most recent Maryville touchdown courtesy of the senior quarterback, Carson Jones. And a little miscommunication that time as Latham falls down and is tripped up in the backfield.
By his own quarterback, yeah.
And
things not really going the Rebels' way right now, and even worse.
Yeah.
It looks like they'll
let the
got a guy shaken up coming to the sideline.
Yeah, they're going to let the clock run out here. There's no question about that now. They'll be content with going to the locker room.
Markel Fortenberry motioning to the crowd here at Maryville, and they like what they see. 28-0 in favor of Derek Hunt's Rebels as we head to the half. Will Lamar Brown's Rebels be able to come back? We'll find out. Join us for another half of football here on the Your High School Sports Game of the Week when we come back at Maryville.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
At Sevier County Electric System, we know that when the power goes out, it's important to you to have power restored as quickly as possible. That's why we've introduced the Power Action Line. As soon as you call the Power Action Line from a phone associated with your electric service, we know immediately that your power is out. The Power Action Line lets us answer up to 1,200 calls per hour, so we can make sure and identify all outages, even after major storms. We track those outages through our integrated mapping system, which provides our operations center a better understanding of where the affected areas are located and predicts probable starting points that helps our crews begin looking for the problem. Our whole goal is to get your power back on as soon as possible. We'll even call you back to make sure your service has been restored. At Sevier County Electric System, we want to take care of our customers, and that's what we do every day. Sevier County Electric System. We are the power behind our community. Just call 865-774-6300.
Tune in to the Alewife Pottery Channel 196. Watch local craftsmen and learn of the rich Smoky Mountain heritage and history. Meet Robert Alewife and his family as they take you on their journey of their successful pottery business in the Gatlinburg's arts and crafts community. Established by Robert Alewife more than 30 years ago, this business has grown up with the Alewife family. Alewife Pottery is renowned nationwide, not only for their stunning handmade ceramics, but also their friendly, fun-loving family atmosphere. Tune to Channel 196, the Alewife Pottery Channel, and enjoy these great stories.
Claybo's Campground and Cabins and Claybo's Market and Grill have been family-owned and operated since 1978. Claybo's Campground is spacious, with 320 sites including vacation homes and cabins. Great location for family reunions and large groups with entertainment on the weekends. Make reservations at Claybo's Campgrounds and Cabins, located on 405 Wears Valley Road, Pigeon Forge.
My name is Derek Hunt, head football coach at Maryville High School, and you're watching Your High School Sports.
At Sevier County Electric System, we know that when the power goes out, it's important to you to have power restored as quickly as possible. That's why we've introduced the Power Action Line. As soon as you call the Power Action Line from a phone associated with your electric service, we know immediately that your power is out. The Power Action Line lets us answer up to 1,200 calls per hour, so we can make sure and identify all outages, even after major storms. We track those outages through our integrated mapping system, which provides our operations center a better understanding of where the affected areas are located and predicts probable starting points that helps our crews begin looking for the problem. Our whole goal is to get your power back on as soon as possible. We'll even call you back to make sure your service has been restored. At Sevier County Electric System, we want to take care of our customers, and that's what we do every day. Sevier County Electric System. We are the power behind our community. Just call 865-774-6300.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
It's just like this is.
We only got 6 minutes.
I know. It takes 6 minutes to get off the field.
goes to 0, they'll give you about 2 or 3 more minutes. So, probably about 5 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna try to go to the restroom. Okay, if I don't get back.
Yeah. If you want to go back a little early, if you want to do a recap or
See that?
A boot?
So I broke my toe about a week ago. And actually, it was funny. Brandon, too, broadcast that Thursday night. The next day, I wasn't paying attention, walked into my closet door because I was on my phone scrolling, going to get something. Boom, closet door, and I thought I had stepped in, turned out it was broken.
No, I didn't even know this.
Yeah, but I was going to say, I'm just going to sit.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even see that. Part of the band, the whole it's going to go quicker if they get one more touchdown.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
At Sevier County Electric System, we know that when the power goes out, it's important to you to have power restored as quickly as possible. That's why we've introduced the Power Action Line. As soon as you call the Power Action Line from a phone associated with your electric service, we know immediately that your power is out. The Power Action Line lets us answer up to 1,200 calls per hour, so we can make sure and identify all outages, even after major storms. We track those outages through our integrated mapping system, which provides our operations center a better understanding of where the affected areas are located and predicts probable starting points that helps our crews begin looking for the problem. Our whole goal is to get your power back on as soon as possible. We'll even call you back to make sure your service has been restored. At Sevier County Electric System, we want to take care of our customers, and that's what we do every day. Sevier County Electric System. We are the power behind our community. Just call 865-774-6300.
Tune in to the Alewife Pottery Channel 196. Watch local craftsmen and learn of the rich Smoky Mountain heritage and history. Meet Robert Alewife and his family as they take you on their journey of their successful pottery business in the Gatlinburg's arts and crafts community. Established by Robert Alewife more than 30 years ago, this business has grown up with the Alewife family. Alewife Pottery is renowned nationwide, not only for their stunning handmade ceramics, but also their friendly, fun-loving family atmosphere. Tune to Channel 196, the Alewife Pottery Channel, and enjoy these great stories.
To Shield Stadium and Jim Renfro Field in Maryville, Tennessee. Jake Nichols and Ralph Miranda on the call with you for the Your High School Sports Game of the Week. And through that first half, it has been all Maryville, 28-0, as we start the final 24 minutes of play. And Maryville will get the football, which is a dangerous combination right now for this West defense.
Well, you know, I sound like I'm just saying the same thing and over again, but I really can't say much else. I mean, this is a very key possession for West. I mean, they have got to stop Maryville on this possession. If Maryville goes up 35-0, I think the game is over. So West has got to try to get a stop, try to move the ball down the field and get some kind of score, and see if they can make it a competitive second half. They might try an onside kick here, but I doubt it.
Tyson Sieb set to send it away, and we are underway in the second half. From inside the 10-yard line, some space down the left end, Gage Ledoux across midfield and well into West territory, and Carson Jones again working with a short field.
Yeah, and that's kind of a real backbreaker right there. The last thing you want to have happen is give Maryville the ball on the 40-yard line of West, or 41-yard line to start the second half.
And this will be, I believe, the second drive tonight that Maryville will start with less than 45 yards to go, or excuse me, yes, the second drive tonight with less than 45 yards to go. They had a 54-yard drive as well in the first half.
Right.
And it is all Rebels so far, 28-0, as Jones lines up with Ledoux in the backfield, and he has got Noah Vaughn out in the slot. The West faithful still making themselves heard here as Jones fires over the middle, has DJ Burks, and Burks again on the slant down to the 28-yard line for a quick first down, brought to you by Scozito 2 New York Pizza.
Yeah, and again, Jake, you know, good play action. You know, Maryville ran the ball for 123 yards in the first half, and when you can do that, the play action is going to freeze those linebackers, and if you can get those linebackers to freeze for just a short period of time, you can open up the slant behind them.
First down and 10, as mentioned, for Maryville at the 28. Courtesy of the reception to DJ Burks, who has a touchdown catch tonight already. Jones rolling to his right, firing deep down the right sideline, and incomplete, trying to get Burks again, but it will bring up second down and long.
Yeah, I think Burks fell down on that route, and Jones did a good job of just throwing it over his head so no one could catch it.
11:08 left to play in your third quarter, 52 seconds into the second half, and Maryville already at or almost in the red zone of West once more tonight. Second down and 10 here for Jones, and he will pitch it out to Vaughn. Vaughn trying to get the perimeter, and plenty of white jerseys there to make the stop at the 25.
Yeah, you know, with Jones, with his speed, you want to try to get him on the, I tell you, for a guy his size, and He's only 180 pounds if you believe the roster. He doesn't look quite that heavy, but he's got tremendous power. I mean, running up the middle, but he's also got that speed, which allows him to get outside. And that was not a bad pickup for Maryville. About 5.5, 6 yards, gives him a manageable third down from the 22-yard line.
Third down and 3 for Jones and the Maryville offense. I expect they may give it to Vaughn again here. And no, Jones rolling right, firing, and has Burks again down to the 10-yard line. And a nice play action that time, rolling out and firing to Burks coming across the formation.
Yeah, and another thing they do, Jake, Maryville so well is they run college-type routes. I mean, these guys are all running specific routes. They run them very crisp. Notice on that play, he knew where to go with the football. He knew which guy was going to be open given that defense. It's just really hard to defend.
First down and goal for Maryville at the 9. As Vaughn is back in the backfield once more here. You've got Fortenberry in the slot to the near side. Jones firing and caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Maryville.
No, they're calling it incomplete.
Nope, incomplete.
Yeah.
Fortenberry thought he had it, but it will be incomplete. Jones that time trying to go to number 18, Drew Wallace, and it will bring up second down and goal from the 9. Or excuse me, that was not number 18, that was number 12 on the attempt. Although Jones is listed as number 12 on the roster.
Yeah, well, I think it's his twin brother.
Up there. It must be. First down, or second down, excuse me, at the 9-yard line here for Maryville. Jones gives up the middle, and Vaughn slicing his way close to the 2-yard line.
That would be a pretty good play if you could throw it and catch it at the same time, wouldn't it?
That would be.
Yeah.
That would be. We've seen that very rarely on, and when it is, it's on SportsCenter.
Exactly. That's exactly right. All right, so Maryville's got the ball, on the 3 from here? Let's see what they go with here. I expect to see that same formation they scored on in the second quarter, with the 2 running backs in a wing-type formation.
Third down and goal from the 3. A loaded formation here for Jones. Vaughn off the right side, and he is stopped short. A nice stand that time by the by the West defense. Brings up fourth down and 1. No surprise here, Maryville gonna go for it. Vaughn again, and he is in. Touchdown, Maryville.
And again, if you notice there, Jake, when they spotted the ball on the 1-yard line, Maryville went right to the line of scrimmage, and West had yet to set their defense. So that's another thing they do so well that comes with experience and comes with repetition, is the ability to catch the defense off guard.
34-0 now in favor of the Maryville Rebels, courtesy of the first touchdown run of the night from Noah Vaughn. The kick is up, it's good, and just like that, a 41-yard touchdown drive results in a 5-score lead for the Maryville Rebels.
Right. And now it becomes even more difficult for West because the clock is going to start running now, and until they can score, it'll be a running clock for the balance of the second half.
9:02 left to play, and Maryville really spreading things out on offense. To start this second half, the Rebels had 131 passing yards, 102 rushing yards. Certainly got more on that drive, but a first half when you have over 200 yards of offense. They are on pace to beat out their offensive production last week as they came just shy of 400 yards of offense. So quite a level of production for Maryville on that side of the football.
Yeah, and it's a sneaky 400 yards, right? I mean, most teams that put up 400 yards, they're throwing deep passes.
Right.
Maryville does it sneaky. I mean, they're 10 yards here, 12 yards here, then maybe 20, then maybe 6. I mean, it's just a consistent barrage of offensive weapons that they have in offensive formations.
Maryville set to send it away once more. And Wren again will not take it out of the end zone, bringing up yet another touchback to start things out for Carson Jesse and the West offense, trailing by 5 scores here with 8.5 minutes left to play in your third quarter. If you're just joining us, Jake Nichols and Ralph Miranda with you on the Your High School Sports Game of the Week. And before we go any further, I want to remind you that we will be in Seymour next week as they take on Elizabethton. So we should have an outstanding matchup there between the Eagles and the Cyclones. Jesse rolling right, firing, and that one is batted down. They're going to call a flag, and believe that will be roughing the passer.
No, I think it's pass interference. Of course, you may have seen something that I didn't see, but I think it was a pass interference call.
Looked like Jesse was brought down a little late.
Well, and you could. I mean, I was looking at the pass. You were probably looking at the quarterback. Yeah. I think what happened is the defender put his hand on the back of the receiver, and you can't do that.
First down and 10 for West, coming off the Maryville penalty. And that first down brought to you by Squisito 2 New York Pizza and Pasta. And the penalty that time on the Maryville Rebels tacked on to number 44, Peyton Cooper. Fresh set of downs here for Jesse with 7 minutes left to play in the third. Going to his left and incomplete. Just a little high, and it looks like we have got another West player that is down on the field.
Let's, while we've got a chance, let's give a quick shout out to our other sponsors as well. I mean, we got, guys, the food tonight was excellent again with Buddy's Barbecue. Tremendous food. Express Car Wash, Krispy Kreme donuts. The donuts are excellent. I mean, they always are excellent. Express Car Wash, Express Car Shine by Claybo. Tremendous sponsors. And then, of course, Sevier County Electric System, giving you the power to do the things that you need. And then, of course, Buddy's Barbecue, tremendous food every week. If you don't like Buddy's Barbecue, you don't like to eat. And then, of course, Allewine Pottery. Robert Allewine runs a tremendous operation up there, has been for years. And, go see Robert Allewine. Then, of course, Riverstone Resort and Spa. Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. And what was that one? Blades? Is that Blades? Yeah. We do have to pick a Blades is it a player or player of the game?
Blades cut of the
week. Excuse me. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that if we see any more production from him tonight, that might have to go to Vaughn.
Well, listen, I wouldn't argue with that. I mean, he has been just tremendous. He's a workhorse, and he's only a junior, as I said. So he'll be back next year. Is that number 9? Cooper
Shimlock coming off. Good to see that he is okay coming to the sideline. Second down and 10 now for West.
It's number 3, excuse me. Thank you, Zion. Stokes, John Stokes, or Stokes John?
Stokes John.
Yeah, okay.
Second down.
He'll be okay.
Second down and 10 for West from the 35-yard line. Jesse flushed out of the pocket again and brought down for the sack, the shoestring tackle
and credit again, big number 27 for
Keyshawn Harper.
Keyshawn Harper.
Yeah, he's
on the stop.
He's kind of like their strong side linebacker. They don't line him up as a linebacker off the line. They line him up on the line, kind of like a rush end almost, but I would call him more of a strong side linebacker. Tremendous quickness to get off the block there and a great tackle.
3rd down and 17 after the sack by Harper.
Screen or draw is what I'd run here.
Maryville flipping its defense around. And Jesse gonna throw over the middle, incomplete. That one in and out of the hands of his intended target. And if DJ Burks had been a little closer, that one could have gone to the house.
Yeah, it sure could have. And again, what are they saying?
Butterfingers.
Oh, Butterfingers. Leave it up to students, right?
Yep. 4th down and 17, and as Ralph mentioned, the Maryville student section, which is notorious for its taunting, has been, again, famously so tonight. 4th down and 17 for the West Rebels.
And they'll fair catch this, I would think. Maybe not.
Fortenberry taking it inside his own 35.
That's a penalty. Should have been a penalty.
Going to be a block in the back, probably, but Fortenberry trying to make his way down
It is a penalty. There's a flag there.
They do call a flag back there on the block. And even before Fortenberry got across the 50, the West fans were yelling.
Yeah, they were. No, that was definitely a block in the back on that one. I'm surprised the flag came out as late as it did, really. But now what you're going to see with Maryville, there's 4:54 left in the 3rd quarter. The clock will be running. And I think you're going to start seeing some substitutions on offense.
Derek Hunt, as mentioned in our open tonight, a 92% winning percentage. A Knox County team has not won in Knoxville since 2000, as Ralph mentioned, and right now it is looking like that is not going to change.
No, that streak's not going to change, and it probably won't change again until, if possible, till next year, because they play Bradley Central next week, and then, of course, the playoffs will start. All right, they still got Carson Jones in there. Looks like we have a few substitutions, especially in the backfield. Jaden Ford is in the backfield right now for Maryville.
Ford up the middle and gets a couple on the carry. We'll bring up 2nd down and about 8. Excuse me, that's Ledoux on the carry. And brings up 2nd and 7. 4 minutes and counting as the clock is still ticking here in Maryville. Again, a 35-0 lead in favor of the home field Rebels. Jones still in behind center. He will flip it out to Ledoux, and Ledoux skirts across the 35-yard line. Excuse me, that is actually number 26.
Tez Dozier
for Maryville.
You see they're running different backs in now. This is another thing Maryville does really well, is they're going to start substituting slowly position groups, all right? Different backs on every play, give them a chance to carry the ball. And in the 4th quarter, you'll see a different quarterback in there.
Third down and 4. Jones still having to communicate heavily with his offensive line because of these cowbells on the west sideline. Fortenberry across the formation and up the middle again. Ledoux on the carry that time.
Gage Ledoux carries the ball.
And it will bring up 4th down and short.
And Maryville's going to, I would think they'll punt it here. Well, they're going to go for it.
At the 38, 4th down 2.
4th down, 2 yards to go. The West Rebels looking for their first real defensive stand since the start of this game. Jones with Ledoux to his left.
I didn't think they were going to go for it there. You definitely don't want to give any momentum to your opponent when you've got them at 35-0. So Maryville calls a timeout, they'll kick it away, and they'll let the defense play.
And we will take the timeout with them. Your score, Maryville 35, West nothing here on the Your High School Sports Game of the Week.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Fourth down and 2. Fortenberry set to punt it away. And a booming kick from the Liberty commitment. And Wren will let that one roll. It will be West football at its own 21. Or excuse me, 22-yard line is where they're going to mark it. A minute and a half left in the third quarter, and time still ticking here for the West Rebels. At the moment, West is 13 minutes from its second loss of the season. Should Maryville finish this one out, it will be 9-0 going into a matchup with Bradley Central next week before the 6A or before the playoffs begin in general. Jesse firing to his right has 6 Horde, and Horde scratching up to the 31 about, and that will be a first down and 10 brought to you by Squisito 2 New York Pizza and Pasta. Or excuse me, they will bring it second down and short.
Yeah, I think he was pushed out of bounds before he got to the first down marker.
Second and 1 here for the Rebels inside the 10-second mark of this third quarter. Up the middle, and Latham will get the first down. So to begin the final 12 minutes of action, it is all Maryville with a running clock, 35-0 in favor of the home field Rebels, trying to improve their streak to 9-0 in the 2021 campaign. We'll be right back for the final 12 minutes of action here on the Your High School Sports Game of the Week.
At Sevier County Electric System, we know that when the power goes out, it's important to you to have power restored as quickly as possible. That's why we've introduced the Power Action Line. As soon as you call the Power Action Line from a phone associated with your electric service, we know immediately that your power is out. The Power Action Line lets us answer up to 1,200 calls per hour, so we can make sure...
First down and 10 for West from the 32. Jesse going to his left and has a receiver. And credit number 36 for West on the reception, out close to the 40-yard line. Thad Sterling on the reception, out to the 38, and it will bring up second down here for West. Up the middle this time, and a nice carry, but stood up.
And you know, I don't want to speak too soon, but this has been a pretty clean game. You know, there's not been a turnover tonight. We've had a couple fumbles by West, but they've recovered those fumbles. No interceptions. It's been a very clean football game. A few penalties here and there, but a pretty good football game.
And West starting to make those substitutions now as Silas Cole got the carry.
Yeah. And Maryville making substitutions too in key positions. They've got a new straight safety in there, a couple new corners, a few new defensive linemen. Still have, looks like their starting linebackers in there, however.
Third down and 1 here for West. Cole up the middle again. And this will be close. First down, West, courtesy of Silas Cole. That first down brought to you by Squisito 2 New York Pizza and Pasta with 10 minutes left to play. And Ralph, I think it is good to see West building a little confidence here.
Oh yeah, no question about it. I mean, you know, you want to end the game at least on some sort of a confidence builder.
And Jaquarius Wren went up for it that time on the pass from Carson Jesse, came up short. And Jesse, for how good he was against Sevier County when we last saw him, just seemed really stifled and flummoxed by this Maryville defense.
Yeah, well, like I said, Maryville's going to stay in that cover too, so they're not going to let you beat them deep anywhere down the field, all right? And that's you have to methodically drive the football with short passes and runs. You can take a shot eventually, but they're going to drop that cover 2 back and protect the deep part of the field.
Second down and 10 for Jesse. Going to go to Wren again across midfield, and Wren pushing to the 45-yard line. A nice pickup that time for the wide receiver for a first down, courtesy of Squisito 2 New York Pizza and Pasta.
Yeah, and what Maryville's doing now is they're dropping their corners as well, so they're going to give you those short passes, okay? Maryville doesn't take any pleasure in shutting you out. They're going to give you the short passes. If you can get down the field and score, more power to you.
First down and 10 for West as the Rebels move across midfield. Jesse going to his right. Has a receiver and close to the 40-yard line. Credit the pickup that time to Stokes John once more. Second down, 1 yard to go here for West. And if you have been watching with us tonight, we want to thank you for tuning in to the Your High School Sports Game of the Week. Again, we will be at Seymour next week as they play host to Elizabethton from Class 4A. Jesse going over the middle, has a receiver caught. Win, touchdown West. 34 yards from Jesse to his primary target, and the West Rebels are finally on the board.
Good question. I want to say about maybe 35 yards.
The kick is up. Or excuse me, West set to go for, I think, the conversion here.
What do you think think he's having a better second half? Why do you think he's having a better second half?
Going to go for the conversion. Now they are set to kick.
Right.
Tyson Sieve on for the PAT try. And it's good. Your score, Maryville 35, West 7 after the hookup from Carson Jesse to Jaquarius Wren with 7:39 left to play.
Yeah, as I said, Maryville's got some young guys playing safety. The safety it was a beautiful pass by the quarterback. Safety made a little bad play, reacted to the ball a little too quickly. The ball was caught and touched it. As I said, Maryville's going to substitute. They're going to give you the short passes in this type of situation. And if you can hit a big play on them, that's great. But they don't take any pride in shutting you out. They just want to win.
So again, 35-7, your score in favor of Maryville still as Derek Hunt's Rebels continue to roll. But West finally able to tack a touchdown on the board. And Ralph, I think going forward, we've seen the hookup from Carson Jesse to Jaquarius Wren earlier this season. Right. And I think that has to give you confidence going forward and going into the playoffs, being able to get a pass like that even late in this game.
Oh yeah, I mean, we talked in the very first segment we did about, even though this is not a region game, these teams can take a lot from this game going into the playoffs. West is a very, very good football team. And the fact that they've been beaten tonight doesn't take anything away from it. They have plenty of weapons. They know how to get the ball downfield. They've got a really good running back. They're going to be fine. I mean, they're going to be fine in the playoffs. There's no question about it. But you're right. The fact that they can score, drive a little bit is going to help them going into next week. Because remember, Jake, we talked about next week is really the key game for West, right? Yeah. I mean, if they beat Central next week, they're the 1 seed in their region, which helps them tremendously.
And again, a top game next week for Maryville as well.
Yes.
As they will take on Bradley Central.
With the same thing. The winner of that game gets the 1 seed and hosts all their games as far as they stay in through the first 3 rounds.
First down and 10 here for Maryville. And it will be Maryville ball at the 35-yard line.
Casey Cobble, the new quarterback for Maryville.
So the Rebels finally switching things up here and trying to get a few more inexperienced guys in to test their wealth a little bit here late. And a nice carry up the middle on 1st and 10. Brought down just short of the 45-yard line. And credit Dozier again with the carry. Second down now for Maryville. A similar situation as what we had with Carson Jones, as the Rebels are still having to adjust to this West fan base. And Dozier takes it up the middle again for a first down. That is a great name for a running back. If you can apply, like I'm assuming at some point he'll at least find a nickname like Bulldozer, because that would not work.
Yeah, that's right. But he does have a very catchy name for a running back, right?
Yeah. But credit to Noah Vaughn too. It has been quite a night for him.
Oh yeah, no, he's really been the workhorse for this football team throughout the season.
First down and 10 for Maryville, firing it out on the perimeter. And a nice tackle that made by the West.
And you can see the young quarterback, Koppel, he kind of floated that ball out there. And, that's what you want. You want your young quarterback to get experience on Friday night, and they'll coach him and show him that he's got to zip that ball out there to give his receiver a chance to get it.
Second down and 10 yards to go, and I think or 1 yard to go, excuse me. Flipping it to Dozier around left end. And Dozier going to slice ahead close to midfield. And, even this late in this game, it has to be great experience for Cobble just with this noise.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Having to go up and, make sure his line gets the calls and knows what's happening.
And, you asked me, you talked about the consistency of Maryville. They get so many young players in these games, and then they play 5 postseason games. So they get so much experience that when they become starters, it's not new to them.
Third down, 7 yards to go. Cobble dropping back, firing to Dozier on the screen, and Dozier across midfield. Plenty of room to work, and down inside the 35-yard line. And even with another group on this offense, and you can see the way that Maryville can still move the football.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, they're so well trained, and that's why they're so good, because these kids now next year, when they get their chance to start, they've had the experience on a Friday night. And the same applies for West. I mean, you see a lot of young guys in there as well.
And I remember 2 years ago, whenever Maryville won its last state championship, watching Carson Jones come in as the backup on a few of these occasions.
That's right.
And now seeing his development, really something to watch.
That's right.
A nice tackle that time made by West to bring up second and long.
And, another thing that's really, being as old as I am, watching this game, we haven't seen a quarterback step under center once tonight.
Right.
I mean, and that really amazes me now how this game has changed. Not one quarterback on either team has once taken a snap under center.
Second down and 12 for Cobble. And a big hit that time. Credit number 10 for West. David Drada getting into the backfield. And brings up third down and very long here for Maryville. And that's something you can certainly look at on film going forward as Drada, just a freshman, gets older and points to and say, that's what we need from you every night.
Right, exactly.
Third down and 15. As mentioned, this West crowd still making things hard to hear here at Maryville, and there's a flag on the play. And Maryville coming back after the false start. And again, going back to that consistency, another very coachable moment here for this Maryville.
Yeah, no question. And they'll probably run the ball here or try another screen. Call a timeout.
And so they do. 2:59 left to play. All Maryville 35-7, but the Rebels looking at their longest third down of the night, third down and 20, when we come back here on the Your High School Sports Game of the Week. Third down and 20 for Cobble and the Rebels. Still well in front, but trying to convert here late. Jaden McCord finding some running room. And McCord trying to take the pile ahead. And he will get about 12 yards on the play. And it brings up fourth down here for Maryville. And no surprise here, the Rebels going for it. Fourth down with McCord in the backfield. That's the Cobble. 6 yards to go. And McCord up the middle again. No, Cobble on the screen and fires to his receiver. First down, Maryville. Credit number 24, Julius Toto on the reception. And yet another conversion here for this Maryville offense for a first down, brought to you by Squisito 2 New York Pizza.
And you remember what I said earlier about showing your formations? The West coach told his secondary to shift to the wide side of the field, and what did Maryville do? They ran it back short to this side. Obviously, he saw something in that formation, and Maryville changed it up on him. That's the difference.
The Maryville student section giving a light show here near the end of this one, as we are at the 2-minute mark. 35-7 in favor of the home field Rebels. McCord up the middle, and he gets past the 15-yard, or gets past the 20-yard line, close to the 15. Second down, 5 yards to go. And we are just a minute and a half away from this one being final. Maryville may try to run one or two more plays here before kneeling it out. As it will be Dozier up the middle again. Getting a couple more touches before this one is said and done.
What is it, third down now?
Third down and 5 yards to go.
Yeah, it's Maryville will let the 30-second clock go all the way down. They'll run one more play, and then that'll be it.
Or excuse me, third down and 2 yards to go. The scoreboard hadn't flipped for a moment. I love this part at the end of even blowouts when you see them trying to get all the freshmen in and sprinting onto the field.
Exactly.
Carry off the left side and smeared close to the 25-yard line.
That'll be it right there.
And that one is going to be it.
Would you guys like to take some donuts with you back?
Your final
on the bus.
They're
really good.
5-7
yeah, you're welcome. You guys
in favor of the home field Rebels. Maryville moving to 9-0 on the season, and West falling to 7-2.
You guys be safe going back. Hey, you got a really good football team. You guys are going to be fine. I know, but you got a good football team. You got a lot of talent, so and you're fine.
We will be on camera in just a moment. So, as mentioned, 35-7 in favor of Maryville, and the Rebels controlled this one from start to finish.
Well, they really did. You know, the first couple drives, you know, a couple of 3 and out, they had to kind of work their way through things, but they made the adjustments. They were able to pick it up, and before you know it, it was 21-0.
And, you know, you've got to give a lot of credit to Carson Jones. The leadership from him as this senior quarterback has been second to none. You could see the way, even from the beginning, with the way that this West fan base pressured them or tried to, with Maryville getting those cowbells in there Jones was calm and collected, went up to the line, adjusted his calls, and made the changes needed to spark an early rout, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an old guy. I'm 64 years old, and I'm not used to young guys that are seniors in high school being able to use a 40-second clock all the way down to about 6 or 5, make the checks, make the calls, tell your linemen where to block, and be able to snap it and execute. I mean, he did a fantastic job of doing that, and that's the difference of this Maryville team is they're able to execute, they make adjustments, they're able to pick up what the defense is doing and make adjustments on that, and it's just very hard to beat them because, as I said, they can run so many different things off so many different formations, and unless you play an almost perfect game, it's kind of hard to beat them.
And as mentioned, a touchdown for Jones as well tonight, one for Noah Vaughn, and a couple to Markel Fortenberry and one to DJ Burks, and just a big night all around for, as mentioned, those many weapons that Maryville has to offer.
Yeah, you talked about Carson Jones, the quarterback, but I think the glue that makes this team go is Noah Vaughn. I mean, the kid is just unbelievable. I mean, he's only 100. Well, I don't even think he's 180 pounds. He runs that ball so hard and takes so many hits, but he steps right back up, and he's so quick to cut on a dime. I mean, that's the kid that makes this offense go. He really does.
Yep. And going off that, I think that is very deserving of our cut of the week from Blades.
Yeah, no question.
And a big night from Noah Vaughn, a big night from Carson Jones, and another big night for Derek Hunt. 35-7 in what was a highly anticipated matchup, but one that Maryville ran away with quickly and put away before West could really get anything going. So again, 35-7 tonight at Maryville. But before we go, Zion, get over here. I want to tease next week as we have Seymour hosting Elizabethton, and Chris's son Zion over here plays for the Cyclones. Zion, how you feeling about next week?
I'm feeling really good. Coach Wynn always teach us about preparation and always being one step ahead of the other team. And I feel like we're going to go out there and get the dub.
Yeah, so I know you guys are coming off a second straight state title there in Class 4A. So
take some of these.
What is it like to be part of another dynasty up there in Elizabethton right now?
It's really good, but we always got to keep that in the past and then keep looking forward and keep adding more titles to that.
So we will see if you guys can do that next week. As mentioned, Elizabethton visiting Seymour for a battle between Scott Branton's Eagles and Sean Witten's Cyclones. But again tonight in Maryville, 35-7 in favor of the home field Rebels over visiting West. West still in search of a 5A state title. They'll have to go through Powell to do it. But for tonight, it is all Maryville. And we will see if they end up meeting Oakland again in the playoffs. But for tonight, the Rebels are certainly on top. Like you said, either way, the Rebels end up winning this one.
Yeah, I fully expect Maryville to face Oakland in the semifinals again. I think this year it'll be here at Maryville. It'll be a tremendous semifinal game. Oakland is really the only team that's been able to have Maryville's number the last few years because they have so many athletes on that team. But as I said, West will be in the playoffs. West will go deep in the playoffs. They've got a very talented team, and they'll be fine.
Yeah. So, as mentioned, 35-7 your final score here at Shield Stadium. A perfect night for football in Maryville. For Chris Reddick on production, for Nathan Miranda on our main camera, for Zion Reddick, and for Roddy Woods and Victoria back at the studio, and for Ralph Miranda here along with me, I'm Jake Nichols signing off from Maryville. We will see you next week at Seymour.